Yeah.
Tee Higgins at Baltimore, wide receiver 7. You got him 3 higher than the experts. I love what I'm seeing out of Tee Higgins this year, man.
I mean, drawing the number
And last
2
year.
and feasting on him. More points than Jamar Chase so far this year. He's outscored him in all but one game. Higgins is a stud. The only game he didn't outscore him, he got hurt early on. Who knows how it could have gone otherwise? Been the wide receiver 3 last week with 22 points. I think against Baltimore, giving up the most points to wide receivers. We get another absolute smashing. I think 20-plus points for Tee Higgins. I know it's easy to be high on him, but ranked as the wide receiver 10, I have him approaching my top 5 right neck and neck with Jamar Chase.
Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel of the Commanders as a duo going against Tennessee. You like McLaurin as 7 at the 18. That's 7 higher than the experts. And you like Samuel at the 23, 5 higher than the experts. That's actually a decent sized discrepancy for guys this high up in the rankings.
Yeah, I like them both just with Dotson removed, a touchdown fiend. He scored in 3 of his 4 games, 4 touchdowns across those 3 games. I think that presence removed is going to do wonders for Terry McLaurin and Curtis Samuel's touchdown ceiling, which has really been lacking for McLaurin so far. 8, 9, and 6 targets the last couple of weeks aren't horrible. I think this week, that's from McLaurin we're referring to, I think without Dotson, we see that get to 10. Tennessee has been very susceptible to number 1 receivers, 4th most to receivers in general, but in particular, they limit the slot well, but are horrendous against the outside guys. So I think McLaurin is in for a field day. I think this is like the McLaurin week where you get 100, you get 2. We've seen him spike like that in the past, and I think he just needed 1 mouth removed to have that volume stabilized. Now, in addition, Curtis Samuel, just the volume has been so bankable. 11, 9, 10, 7 targets, in addition to multiple carries each and every week. The guy, like I said, 3rd in touches among the wide receiver position. I don't think he should be a fringe top 30 guy. I think he should be looked at as more as like a top 24 guy with such great volume in a good matchup with 1 less mouth now again here. I think both of these guys should be locked in the lineups. Obviously, McLaurin first is the better talent, the better upside, but Curtis Samuel is right there too.
Guy, your last guy on your higher list, I'm really behind this one. Michael Gallup at the Rams. You like him at 38. The experts have him all the way down at 49. I actually really like this play this week.
Yeah, 85% route participation, and looked pretty damn smooth for a guy coming off an ACL, seeing his first action, hauls in a touchdown, finishes as a top 33 receiver, and now he's ranked outside the top 40, top 50 right now. He's getting a Rams team that's given up the 2nd most points to wide receivers. They are horrendous.
Didn't they just look so bad?
So bad. The Rams are bad. And especially in the secondary right now. Jalen Ramsey, the one guy that would be worrisome, years and years ago, he's horrible. He's getting roasted each and every week to the point where he constantly is bringing out new posts about how he's finding God and needs new strength. And people are making him question his whole sanity. So I think Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb will be drawing the number 1s anyways. That doesn't matter. I think CeeDee Lamb's going to have a field day. I think this is the day that Gallup kind of reasserts himself above Noah Brown. And Noah Brown could have a fine day as well as a potential Hail Mary. But give me Gallup. I think he should be starting. At worst, he needs to be on benches, and he's still right around 50% rostered. Go get this guy. Stop letting Gallup sit on waiver wires, please, folks. Go get him now.
We just brought up the Rams, and I don't want to get sidetracked too much, but since I haven't talked to you since the 49ers Rams game has happened. I mean, as bad as the Rams offense was, Cooper Kupp 19 targets, 14 catches, 122 yards. I just felt like I had to mention it on the podcast.
As you should.
Meanwhile, Allen Robinson at like 2 catches for 5 yards or something.
Cut him. Done. I'm done.
Let's talk about guys we're lower on. The duo of Jaylen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, who have had pretty good seasons so far. Waddle, you like as your wide receiver 16. Experts like him all the way up at 12. Tyreek, you like at 9. The experts like him all the way up at 6. Why are you a little more hesitant on these guys?
It is the quarterback change. It is the Jets, who have actually had a better secondary than expected. I know I just talked. It's weird because I gave Omar or somebody the answer of Wentz versus Teddy Bridge. I'm higher on the Commanders receivers and then lower on the Miami ones. But keep in mind the relative positioning of these guys. I'm higher on Tyreek and Waddle than either of Terry and Curtis Samuel. I still like these guys a lot. It's just a matter of who they're getting ranked ahead. Tyreek above T. Not for me this week in that matchup for T. CeeDee Lamb with that 33% target share. AJ Brown, an absolute mammoth these days. I have those guys higher. I'm still a little bit wary of Teddy Bridgewater's ability to sustain 2 guys. So I think somebody's going to pan out pretty big here. I'm just not that confident that we'll get 2, and that's why I'm a little bit nervous.
Brandon Cooks going at Jacksonville. You like him at 27. The experts like him at 23. respecting the Jacksonville defense a little bit?
I really am. I think this Jacksonville D is highly underrated. So big fan of them. I love streaming them this week. My number 4 defense of the week. Love the Jags as streamers. And just Brandon Cooks himself hasn't been all that inspiring. Yes, I like 12, 10, 7, 7. Pretty good targets. Top 10 in terms of target share so far this year, but hasn't been doing much with it. Has not had above top 14 numbers, and 15 is as high for half PPR on the year. 7-3. I just feel like the Jags defense is going to clamp down this entire offense, including Brandon Cooks. I think we're getting one of those like 6 to 8 point kind of
Juju Smith-Schuster going against Vegas. You got him as your wide receiver 41. That's 6 below the experts. Why?
I just don't trust any Chiefs receiver. And Juju
it's tough, right?
To be the steadier one. But Pat Mahomes himself told us, don't trust our receivers. Every week it's going to be somebody different.
Yeah, it just goes to every random guy he's got, except Kelsey. I mean, you can trust Kelsey, obviously.
The only guy you can trust. And yeah, sure, Juju, he's got 8 targets in 3 of the 4 games. So the steadiest of them, he just isn't doing a whole lot with it. It's not anything exciting. 41. These are his wide receiver finishes on the year. 41, 87, 34, 44. And we're ranking him as like a consensus top 35 guy.
Nah, you're right.
Now Sky Moore's getting more involved, and the Raiders have one of the best slot corners in the entire league. So I just don't like Juju. I don't think it's his week.
You've just got below this. No to Allen Robinson or Darnell.
Yeah,
Mooney.
I get questions. No more.
Fair enough. Hail Mary, Josh Reynolds. We talked about him a little bit at New England, 25% roster, and he has been a beast.
He really has been. Again, over 12 fantasy points in 3 straight weeks. I do think Chark coming back makes him a little more nerve-wracking, but I just trust Goff's ability to sustain at least 2 receivers on a weekly basis, which is crazy. Now, if he's gone, I don't hate Noah Brown, who 9, 18, 8, and 8 fantasy points, similar production to Juju. In fact, he's outscoring Juju on the year right now, and a guy that's out there in almost every league. So I like him a lot. I did want to make sure to mention, if Isaiah McKenzie plays, he might be my higher of the week. I have him right now ranked as if he's playing. I have him 15 spots above the ECR at wide receiver 34. The only thing that's been slowing him down, and really he hasn't been slowed down because he's been putting up great numbers, 9, 10, 18, like very solid stats in a 55% timeshare with Jamison Crowder. Jamison Crowder just broke his ankle. He's going to be out for the foreseeable future, maybe the year. We don't have a confirmation there. But if he becomes now a full-time player, he's going to feast. Every time he's seen 80% or more of the snaps, he averages almost 20 points per game dating back to last year. So I really like McKenzie if he plays. Never mind the fact that Pittsburgh is giving up by far like a mile's worth more of points to the slot receivers. They are so bad. This dates back to like every year under Tomlin, but especially these last 2. They are so bad against the slot receiver, which is where he roams. So that way, if he's out, I don't mind going to Khalil Shakir, a rookie. I really like the player, really like the talent, only 1% rostered. If McKenzie's out, I'll tell you this, Khalil Shakir is going to be in my top 45-ish wide receivers, above Eli Moore, right around George Pickens type of range. That's just how bad I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are against the slot. That's how much I love the Bills offense. And that's how much I really actually like this Khalil Shakir kid. So I would go stash this guy if you have the space.
All right, guys, the Wolves watching. Chris Godwin. His health. Can he reemerge as a wide receiver 1 in fantasy? Man, I hope so. Everybody I got is hurt, and he's one of them. The Dolphin studs with Bridgewater. How impacted are they by that? Good question. I would assume a little bit, but who knows? Maybe not that much. Teddy's like, this is why you have Teddy Bridgewater. He's one of the best 2 or 3 backups in the sport. Could definitely start for some teams. And also, does Chris Olave continue to dominate? Probably. Mike Thomas is already on my fantasy app, is already predicted to score 0 points. They're already calling him out.
Yeah, so I think this is where Olave becomes almost like a low-end wide receiver 1 at this point. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.